Yeah, thank you very much. So good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to spend the next 15 minutes or so talking about the role that technology is playing and will continue to play in what we're calling the new normal, right? So COVID-19 cases continue to rise in many countries, including Indonesia. And the impact this pandemic is having is far reaching and really well beyond how its effect on people's just their health. So everyone is being impacted directly or indirectly, from governments and national companies down to the small enterprises and the self-employed. Um, Supply chain, in particular, the technology that enables supply chain is really being put to the test to ensure that the spikes in demand for items such as facial masks are being maintained in the midst of site closures, transportation disruptions and restrictions, or workers simply being prevented from going to work in the factories. And finally, AI solutions. So clearly, AI is very topical at the moment, and they're on the rise. An example of its relevance in this environment is around mask wearing and social distancing compliance. So we can use video surveillance feeds, and those feeds can be analyzed by AI systems to help organizations identify people that may be huddled in groups and not respecting the social distancing or not wearing masks. Let's move to the next slide, please. So we're seeing technology plays a fundamental role in how the world is managing, this COVID-19 crisis, both hopefully during and soon after the crisis. From e-banking to remote education, from video conferencing to automation. And many of these solutions are built on the newer technologies like virtual reality, the cloud, robotics, AI, and 4G and soon 5G. Next slide, please. So digital transformation in a post-COVID world will impact every aspect of our lives. It's not just what we're seeing now, and it's not just in certain areas. And as these digital transformation trends happen across multiple industries, as the solutions get implemented, as adoption starts to grow, we'll really be embarking on a true digital evolution. I've talked about several of these technologies already. So smart access control technologies, where you can use kiosks with temperature measurement or facial mask detection, crowd monitoring to enforce social distancing or capacity monitoring, remote learning and working, service robots, smart banking, smart vending machines. All of these technologies are starting to be seen more, and adoption is starting to grow. Next slide, please. So as I mentioned before, I believe that at times of crisis, it really provides an opportunity to assess where we stand and evaluate or reevaluate priorities. And that was certainly the view of Intel's co-founder, Andy Grove, who you see here, where he called out that, it's really organizations that can navigate through crises. The great ones are the ones that are going to seize the opportunity and really be improved by them. Next slide. So this is really the call to action. COVID-19, as we've seen, is anything but predictable. Think about what initiatives, organizations, the governments can take today that will solve your challenges now and in the future. And as Andy Grove said, use this as an opportunity to improve and become great. Technology really will play a fundamental role in how countries, corporations, schools, individuals manage through this crisis and thrive. And many solutions that were maybe once previously considered to be expensive or hard to develop or challenging to implement or even difficult to use, these solutions are now readily available and affordable and accessible, very relevant for this time. So the call really is to use this time to innovate, to boost productivity, and hopefully get back to strong growth recovery. Thank you very much.